So a big story that came out here since yesterday is a story that came out in The Atlantic. A very, very good journalist by the name of Jeffrey Goldberg. Just to give you a little bit of background on Jeffrey Goldberg, who he is. He was a columnist for the Jerusalem Post, an author. He's also a public policy scholar at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars in Washington, D.C. Also, back in 2003, Republicans just loved this guy. Why? Well, he received the National Magazine Award for his coverage of Islamic terrorism, like in 2005, when he won the Anti-Defamation Daniel Pearl Prize for his reporting on the same topic. Daniel Pearl being the WSJ reporter who was kidnapped and later beheaded by terrorists in Pakistan. Horrible situation. So this is a very well-respected journalist, and he's not some millennial that just came out there. This guy's been doing it for a long time, and he's been well-respected on both sides of the aisle. He's very good at what he's done. He's received a ton of awards. So he wrote this article about Donald Trump. And if you can recall, when Donald Trump canceled his visit to this cemetery near Paris in 2018, he blamed rain for the last-minute decision. Remember when he said that the helicopter couldn't fly? I remember this story, and that the Secret Service wouldn't drive him there. Well, neither claim was true. That was a lie, we learned. Trump rejected the idea of the visit because he feared his hair would become disheveled in the rain, and because he did not believe it was important to honor those Americans who died. That's according to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion that day in a conversation.
What are their names, Brian?
Okay, well, if you could let me just finish the story.
You don't have their names.
If you could let
their names have not been released.
Okay, so if you could let me finish giving background on it, and then
you're saying that was a lie. What you should be saying is that according to this guy, that's a lie.
Okay, so let me finish the story.
You're making it sound like, in fact, that's a lie, and that's just what Jeffrey Goldberg is saying without naming any sources whatsoever.
Okay, so if I could finish, and then if you want to give me your opinions on it, I'll be more than welcome to hear your opinions on it, but I want to give a little bit of background on what it actually says in this story. If you don't think this guy's credible and you just think he's a liar based on his past and all the awards he's won and all the respect, you think he's lying because there aren't actual names near, then you can share that opinion when I'm done with the story. I obviously completely disagree with you, but fine. We will go into that. In a conversation with senior staff members on that morning in the scheduled visit, Trump said, quote, "Why would I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers." In a separate conversation on that same trip, Trump referred to the more than 1,800 Marines who lost their lives as suckers for getting killed. If you recall, when John McCain died back in August of 2018, Trump told his senior staff, according to 3 sources with direct knowledge of this event, "We're not going to support that loser's funeral." And he became furious, according to witnesses, when he saw flags lowered to half staff. What the F are we doing that for? Guy was an effing loser, the president told aides. On at least 2 occasions since becoming president, according to 3 sources with direct knowledge of the views, Trump referred to former President George H.W. Bush as a loser for being shot down by the Japanese as a Navy pilot back in World War II. Trump finds the notion of military service difficult to understand. The idea of volunteering to serve, especially, incomprehensible. The president did not serve in the military. If you recall, he received a medical deferment from the draft during the Vietnam War because he allegedly presented bone spurs in his feet. In the 90s, Trump said his efforts to avoid contracting sexually transmitted diseases constituted his personal Vietnam. Those are his words. On Memorial Day 2017, Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery, a short drive from the White House. He was accompanied on this visit by John Kelly, who was then the Secretary of Homeland Security and who would a short time later be named the White House Chief of Staff. The 2 men were set to visit Section 60, the 14-acre area of the cemetery. That's a burial ground for those killed in America's most recent wars, all heroes. Kelly's son Robert is buried in Section 60, a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps. Robert Kelly was killed in 2010 in Afghanistan. He was 29 years old. And Trump was meant on that visit to join John Kelly in paying respects at his son's grave and to comfort the families of other fallen service members. But according to sources with knowledge of this visit, Trump, while standing by Robert Kelly's grave, turned directly to his father and said, "I don't get it. What was in it for them?" Quote. So let's talk and let's remind people what Donald Trump said about John McCain back in 2015 when he was running for president. Have a listen to this.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Unbelievably disgusting, and there is nobody that could defend those statements. So Trump yesterday responded to the Atlantic article. And by the way, in regards to the article, I've been doing this for 20 years. Journalists don't always name sources. That's obvious. So Trump yesterday responded to the Atlantic article, questioned the source by calling them lowlives and liars, even though the sources were later identified as senior military officials. Have a listen to Trump's response.
It is a disgraceful situation by a magazine that's a terrible magazine. I don't read it, but I just heard about it. They made it up, and probably it's a couple of people that have been failures in the administration that I got rid of, and I couldn't get rid of them fast enough. But or it was just made up. But it's unthinkable. It's a disgrace that a magazine is able to write it, and anybody that if they really exist, if people really exist that would have said that, they're lowlifes and they're liars.
Okay, so very simply put, ladies and gentlemen, he did it in that audio. We have senior military officials that said that Donald Trump did say this, and now he's basically, that's what he said. He's calling them lowlifes and liars. Senior military officials. If anybody does not find that problematic, I don't know what to tell you. But we'll open up the phone lines.
If these people made these things up, then they are lowlives and liars, Brian.
And what is?
That's very clear. I doesn't
think they made it up?
Yeah, I do think they made it up. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and he did call he did call John McCain a loser because he lost the presidential election, and he donated $1 million to his campaign. He didn't call him a loser because he was captured. People right now, the left wing media, and that's you right now, Brian. They are conflating.
What are you talking about? That's idiotic. Don't say stuff like that.
You just interrupted me.
I'm not the left-wing media. Okay. Don't insult me.
I'm not insulting you, Brian.
Well, don't say that again.
You're echoing exactly the same.
If you're going to say stupid stuff, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm not left-wing media, so stop the crap.
I'm sorry, what? If I'm going to say stupid stuff, you're going to interrupt me? Brian, you complain every single day about how I interrupt you.
Okay.
Constantly. That's all you do.
You're right.
You bitch and moan about how I interrupt you constantly.
Well, because you don't understand radio. That's why. You don't call somebody left-wing media. I'm not left-wing media.
I said left-wing media right now.
Like you.
So now I can even finish my point.
You said left-wing media
because you're so personally offended I can't even finish my point.
I'm not going to let you call me that. Yes, I'm not going to let you call me left-wing media. First of all, it's a blatant lie. If you're going to lie and say something that's...
Fine, I'm not lying about anything.
Listen, I will gladly let you finish, and I will not interrupt you.
No, you don't have a choice. I'm going to finish whether you let me or not. Okay? First of all, that's what's going to happen here.
Stop your angry stuff.
That being said, Brian...
left-wing media. Stop saying stupid stuff.
Brian, 99% of our listeners think you're left-wing media.
Okay,
I'm just saying,
first of all, that's not
right
true.
now, the left-wing media is echoing the same story.
What are you talking about?
The point is, Brian, people are using this situation...
You're just being an idiot now.
How am I being
you're
an
just
idiot?
being a stupid idiot.
I'm trying to explain what you're not letting me explain it because you're making it all about you. I'm trying to defend the president here and explain what's going on. You're not letting me do it because it's all about you.
I will give you all the time you want.
You're giving me no time at all, Brian.
Well, you know what?
Zero.
Then don't insult me when you make your point.
I'm not insulting you.
Make your point. Don't call me left-wing media. Do you understand?
I said you are echoing left-wing media right now.
That's not what you just said. That's not what you just said. You said left-wing media like you. That's nonsense. That's idiotic.
That includes you because you're echoing what they are saying. You're saying the exact same thing they're saying.
And by the way, when you said 99,
and I'm getting no chance
when you said,
whatsoever.
Because you're not going to insult me when you're factually inaccurate.
It's not an insult, Brian.
Okay, let me tell you something.
It's not an insult to be
I will let you finish.
To be a liberal or to be a Democrat.
I will let you finish.
That's not an insult.
First of all, I'm not a liberal.
It's a political affiliation and association.
I need 20 seconds.
It's a political ideology.
I need 20 seconds, and then I will give you 5 minutes. Okay. First of all, I'm not left. I'm not left-wing media. I'm not a liberal. Just because you have 5 idiots that text you every day and call me a liberal doesn't mean I'm a liberal. That's number one. Number two, when you claim that 99% of the people think I'm a liberal and I'm a Democrat, let me tell you something, my friend. I have dozens of people every day that send me messages that call you a right-wing nutjob conspiracy theorist. Okay, they don't think I'm a left-wing nutjob. So your stupid statistics of 99% of the people think I'm blah 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 mean nothing, and they have zero credibility.
I am partisan. I am very right-wing leaning.
Okay, make your point.
But I admit it.
Make your point. That's fine.
I admit what I am.
Your stupid 99% statistic.
I'm not offended because of who I actually am and what I talk about. It doesn't offend me. Clearly it offends you. That's fine. It doesn't make a difference.
I don't like it when my co-host lies.
I'm not lying about anything, Brian. We just got derailed for 6 minutes about absolutely nothing.
99%.
All I'm saying is
99% of people do not think I'm a liberal or a Democrat. So stop your nonsense.
Okay, 95%.
No, 90%. I don't know where you get your stupid statistics from. Okay, that's like saying 99% of my bets on golf or your 99% of your bets on baseball
That's totally
win.
different.
No,
that's 100% different.
It's factually inaccurate and it's a lie. So don't lie.
That's 100% different.
No,
Brian.
you're not gonna say stuff like that about me. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Go ahead.
You just called me stupid.
Your comment was stupid.
You just called me an idiot.
Your comment was
stupid.
stupid.
You've insulted me twice.
Yes, I have.
Just because I'm trying to defend the president.
Okay, defending the president is fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Clearly, you
don't
do have
say
a problem with it
left-wing media like me. I'm not
we're literally
left-wing media.
talking about nothing right now,
well,
Brian.
It's your fault. It's your fault.
It's not my fault. I'm not the one that interrupted me. You are.
Don't call me
interrupted
left-wing
me.
media.
But then you complain when I interrupt you.
Don't call me
It's blatant
left-wing
hypocrisy.
media. No, it's not
It's a huge double standard. And it's fine. I don't care.
Okay, listen.
It's not a big deal. That being said, can I please explain?
Yes.
Are you sure?
99% of our listeners think you're a liar. Go ahead.
I would really like to explain why. Are you sure?
99% of our listeners think you're a liar. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Brian. Thank you. That was outstanding. That was
go ahead.
I'm sure you feel great about yourself now.
I don't actually. I'm very disturbed that my co-host would say something like that. But go ahead.
How are you disturbed by that?
Okay,
Brian?
I'm not going to waste any more time.
People listen to the show. Think
I made
that
my point.
A lot of them think that you're left wing. Not a big deal. And all I'm saying is you echoed the exact same thing that a lot of these left wing publications are echoing.
That's not what you said.
Okay. Anyways, Brian, Donald Trump. Now my train of thought is completely gone.
Well, now you know what I feel like.
Well, I don't derail you for 6 minutes for no reason to personally attack you like you just did there.
You derail me about 30 times a show.
Not to personally attack you, Brian.
If you forgot your thought,
if I do it for about 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, don't call me left-wing media, and then that won't happen.
So what's going on right now? The media is conflating the fact that Donald Trump called John McCain a loser, which he did do about the presidential election, but they're making it seem like he called him a loser for being captured. That is not the case whatsoever. Donald Trump has passed the Veterans Mission Act, which replaced Veterans Choice. He's increased military pay by 3.1%, which is the highest increase in history. He's added $76 billion to $76 billion to the actual military. I mean, he's done a lot of things to help the military, Brian. And yeah. And also, everyone that was with him, including John Bolton. John Bolton didn't mention anything about this French situation, about how that he was calling people losers and suckers, and why he wasn't there when
it happened.
None
of these things have anything to do with the sources.
If you look at John Bolton, and these sources don't have names, Brian, but you believe them because you hate the president.
You don't understand how journalism works.
And the Atlantic
you have no idea how journalism works.
The Atlantic just let off a bunch of employees last week. They're in the tank.
That has nothing to do with Jeffrey Goldberg, who is still employed. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
What do you mean? I have no idea what I'm talking about.
In journalism, sometimes people don't tell the source.
Right now, on my Twitter page,
all the time.
On my Twitter page at I'm JD Sharp, there is literally a montage video of Donald Trump with 9 different amputees.
So what? That doesn't mean he didn't say that. You're bringing up things that don't matter.
You're basically saying, I'm proving why I don't think that he said that, Brian.
I just played you audio of what he said about John McCain. I just gave you the history of this author.
That I don't like. I can't defend what he said, obviously, and I'm not going to try to.
Well, it sounds like you are.
No, I'm not. When did I do that?
It certainly sounds like you are.
No, I'm not at all.
Okay.
I'm making no effort to defend anything whatsoever,
I've never heard you say what Donald Trump said was despicable, it was awful, and he should have never said it. I've never heard you say that.
I said I can't defend what Donald Trump said about John McCain.
But you don't criticize him for it.
That being said, John McCain was terrible with veterans.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
His voting record is horrendous.
Oh, my God.
He voted against veterans so many times. He voted against the troops so many times, Brian.
You have no idea what you're
there was
talking
actually I absolutely I do. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Would you like me to break it down?
Okay, so let's go after John McCain now. That's very presidential, Donald Trump-ish of you. Let's take some calls.
No, what I'm saying is Donald Trump attacked John McCain because John McCain did not help veterans, which he didn't according to his voting record.
So because you disagree with somebody's policy, you should go after someone else. This is the most idiotic conversation I've ever heard in my life. You want to list things that John McCain, you don't like his policy. So because you don't like John McCain's policy, you're saying, well, here's why Donald Trump said what he said. I'm sorry, JD.
You're giving me no opportunity to defend myself here, or to explain myself. because you're personally offended, and now since I'm not saying what you agree with, the problem is, Brian, you complain to me about interrupting you, and you do nothing to interrupt me. That's all you do, Brian.
Okay, let's take some calls.
Constantly interrupt me, but you complain to me about interrupting you, and it's disgusting, and it's embarrassing, and it's got to stop.
Okay, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting, and it is embarrassing, and it has to stop.
The white anger is oozing out of your mouth right now.
It's not white anger at all, Brian. I'm just annoyed by the hypocrisy.
702. I know.
Just let me explain myself. I understand you don't disagree. I understand you don't agree, and you feel like I personally attacked you. All I'm saying is everything you're saying is the exact same thing that a lot of left-wing publications are saying right now as well.
You don't even know what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
You don't even know what I'm saying because you don't know how to listen. What I said was...
I listened to everything that you said, Brian.
Okay, so what did I say that was incorrect?
And you continually just...
What did I say that was wrong?
You think that I'm just trying to attack you constantly. I'm not. I'm just saying that you're saying what they're saying, and what
am I saying? What am I saying?
You're saying exactly what almost every single left-wing publication is saying right now.
And what am I saying?
About Donald Trump. You're saying that since Donald Trump called John McCain a loser in regards to the presidential election, not in regards to being captured, And because of the audio that was played before that, yes, Donald Trump must have said this about troops.
It's not just that.
Donald Trump did not say this about troops, Brian.
Okay, so you know that for sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe he did not say this about troops. And I tried to explain myself as to why.
So let me ask
but that being said, going after John McCain, in my opinion, was completely reasonable for how he voted for veterans and for the troops.
So the way Donald Trump went after John McCain was reasonable.
No, for his policy, for his voting record.
But he didn't do that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he absolutely
We
did.
played the audio.
No,
So
yeah,
let me ask you a question.
And there's more audio from that same thing in Iowa.
So let me ask you a
There's
question.
more audio about how
Can I
he
ask
said
you a
that
question now?
he don't. I mean, Brian,
I think I've given you ample time.
We play audio that is not fully in context, and then since it's not in context and there's more to it, and since you don't hear it, you think it doesn't exist.
So let me jump in now, if I
Brian.
may, because I think I've given you more than ample time to explain yourself. Can you please prove to me that The Atlantic is a left-wing publication and that they lie? Can you please prove that right now on the air?
No, they're definitely a left-wing publication.
Prove it.
And they're very, very
Prove
anti-Trump.
Prove it.
What do you mean prove it?
Prove it that they are a left-wing organization. What is your proof that this publication is left-wing?
The majority of their articles are slanted to the left.
Which article is slanted to the left? What are you in regards to?
What do you mean?
So when he went
I'm sure there's a lot of them out there.
You're sure that there are a lot of them out there? Can you name one other one?
Am I supposed to know 20 off the top of my head?
No, not 20. How about one?
I could look.
You can
I'll have to look. Yeah.
So you can't recall, but yet you want to call them a left-wing organization.
They're absolutely a left-wing organization.
Yet you can't recall one other article.
Not even an organization, a publication.
Yet you can't recall one other article that was slanted to the left that you think they're lying.
I'll have to look and I'll have to pick some up, but I'm sure I could easily do that. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm saying I don't believe that he said that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't believe that he said that. You believe that he said that, which I'm fine with. That's totally
if
fine.
somebody says something unfavorable,
the issue,
if somebody says something unfavorable about Trump, they must be left-wing. They must be left-wing.
I explained why I don't believe it, Brian.
Okay. So if somebody says something negative,
I tried to explain it, but you got so personally insulted that you derailed my explanation for 6 minutes for no reason whatsoever.
No, there was a reason.
Which is ridiculous.
There was a reason because you said something very ignorant and stupid about me.
Brian.
257. I'm not interested anymore. 257-5396. I find it interesting that you could call something a left-wing organization, but you can't name one other article that they've ever written that you think is left-wing or that they're lying. I find that very interesting. Apparently, anybody that says anything negative about Donald Trump, they must be a left-wing organization. It's the most idiotic argument I've ever heard of.